Okay, so I'm gonna do this video thing again and see if I can give you guys some tips on how to make a really great seat. Once I figured out how to make a seat, that's when I fell in love with wrapping, and that's where I feel like it clicked for me and became actually like more versatile and easy than like other carriers that I had used up to that point. And so I think that nailing this one technique is what's going to make or break you as somebody that uses wrapping a lot. So I have my baby here, and she's a big baby, so in a lot of ways she's gotten easier to make a seat with. I'm just going to demonstrate with a size 4 because it's what I happen to grab. So just some kind of things to keep in mind is that there's a lot of width in most woven wraps. Like this one I think is like 65 centimeters or something like that from like middle marker to middle marker. Find my other middle marker here. Wherever it went. There it is. So like from here to here is 65 centimeters, and so you really have like a lot of room to work with if you think about how long your baby's back is. So one of the first things that I do when I get the baby up on my back is I pull down the wrap as far as it'll go. So otherwise what I find happens is that you get kind of like the top half of your wrap bunched kind of underneath their neck. And then you only have like this much room to work with to play with your seat. So I like to make sure that all of my extra slack is at the bottom and can be pinned up in between our bodies. Come here, Jubilee. Come here. She'll probably run away from me now. Come here, baby. Well, look. Come look. Okay, so I'm going to try to pin under my chin, which I don't do very often. And I'm going to do the Ruck because that's what we're going to do as our carry of the week this week. So anyways, when I first get the baby up on my back, like you see, I already have, let me see if I can get closer. You can see that I have like a bunch of material bunched up underneath her neck right away. So that's kind of what I was talking about. And that gives me very little room down underneath her butt, which is where I'm going to want to be making my seat with. So my first step is going to be to pin these two top rails and pin them like really tight, because this is actually what's keeping your baby on your back right now because you don't have them in a seat. So pin it really tight, and then here's what I'm talking about, pulling all of that extra length down. And I might have to bite it here, hang on. Alright, so you pulled all that extra length down, and then what I also did then was, once I had all that length down, I always reach up in between their legs, and I don't try to come over their legs and stuff it like that. That was the way that I tried when I first started wrapping, and it just never worked. I always come under their legs, grab it, pull it down, and then sort of bounce them into that seat, and then I jump my arms out like this. That pins that seat from knee to knee and gives me a chance to like collect my tails up on the top. And then I kind of I grab the wrap little by little and bring it up over my shoulder, and then same thing on the other side. So that now what I've got is I've got a nice smooth surface on the back here. I don't have any wrinkles or any slack through the bit of my wrap, and that's going to give her less, like right now she's pretty secure up there. If she freaks out and starts straightening, if she goes really crazy, she could pop the seat because it's not reinforced, but just like normal wiggling, she's not going to get out of that. So now some carries like Ruck have a reinforcing pass that goes underneath and repins that seat. And so that's what I'm doing right there. And I just kind of like give this a little yank so it's almost in between our bodies. Let me see if I can bring it here and show you what I'm talking about. If you see, and here's where the pass is coming up. It's coming up actually almost in between our bodies to reinforce that seat. And then on the other side, just gonna make sure their top rail is really tight and secure, because when you stand up and start walking around, you're gonna be more like this, not like this. So what I found a lot of times happens is you have like a really loose top rail, and then they can flop back and forth all the time. So make sure that your top rail is nice and snug when you're bent over a little bit. And then I'm gonna bring this over this leg here, and then you can see I'm following it right nice along the bottom, like this, all the way underneath this leg. So I've got kind of the same type of deal going on this side that I had on that side. And now I can tie off in front. I wish I'd have grabbed a longer size now so that I could show some of you with longer wraps how you could tie off. You could tie Tibetan, which is basically taking this tail, which will be a lot longer if you're using like a 6 or a 7, and sticking it through this Ruck strap, and then you would have a lot more, so you could tie. So basically you cross them, bring them like through the Ruck straps, and then tie. That's tying Tibetan. Because I don't have a lot of room, I'll just tie in front. So I hope that gives you some ideas about the seat and how to make the seat. And now you can see she's kind of like wiggling around a lot, but she's still not able to really buck that seat. So when I first started doing Ruck, I ended up with a lot of times where like the seat would completely come out and end up halfway up her back. And so it makes me nervous if you're not very, very careful to make sure that you've got a good deep seat with this carry.